When I start spiraling, just me, it's just me going on and on. I'm like, wait a minute, who are you talking to? Where's this conversation coming?
And that other person is just staring off in space in their life at that point with not a single thought in their brain at that moment. And we're here like so stressed about it.
Please just hold your breath. Every door looks better when you keep it closed. Keep your head down and don't watch your step. No point in even trying now, just let it go. Maybe they will write the same for me. Maybe this was really just a dream. Don't wanna take that risk and try to see. A 9 to 5 will bring security, I'm sure, but I can guarantee you that's no way to live. Way to live. Promise that's no way to live. Way to live.
Hello.
Hi.
Welcome back to another episode of Prodigal Peas in a Pod. I'm Brooke Ackerman.
And I'm Denise Acosta.
And we are just going to have a purely intellectual discussion with you all today because neither of us has any experience at all with the topic today, which is overthinking is not a spiritual gift.
Yeah. So I thought maybe you might say that. And so just came to say that I agree. That I don't overthink at all or rehearse things in advance for how conversations would maybe go.
But what's funny though is like there are things where I really don't overthink. And then there are things where if there was an award, I would be top notch for overthinking. It's really interesting how there are some things that it's just overthink like crazy and other things not so much.
Like what?
Well, we were sitting here prior to hitting record and you were like, let's just get into it. I was like, great. See, we're not overthinking it.
Brooke, that was for us, not for them.
Okay, whatever. But then there are definitely times where I will craft a text message or an email. And I feel like email is a little more acceptable, but text message, I will write it all out and then I will reread it a couple of times and I will proofread it. And not just like for punctuation, but did I word this well? Maybe if I change this, maybe if I change that. And then I'll even say, John, will you read this and check? Because I'm very direct. And sometimes I know my directness comes across as rude, which I don't understand, but whatever.
It's crazy. It happens to me too.
And I will just overthink a text message like you wouldn't believe. You would believe, but others may not believe.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I find that I do it when, depending on the situation, as far as like texts or emails, if there's a ton of information that needs to go out,
yes,
then I'm a very words matter kind of a person.
Me too.
And then if visually it looks cluttered, then if anybody's anything like me, then they're going to stress out just visually looking at this email. And so I don't want that to happen to them. So I'm visually looking at how this is laid out. And then I'm also like the words that I said, okay, yes, this is the information I need, but how does this come across?
Yes.
Are we good? Is it professional? Is there anything about this email that would put the other person in a defense mode? And sometimes I do, especially if it's like a personal emotion conversation. And I'll read through it and I'm like, oh yeah, they'll probably get really riled up and want to discuss. And it's just like, we're not open for discussion anymore. So let's remove that. To reword that because we're trying to get past. But then for things, I don't want to say work related because I don't really have a job. I just do a ton of different ministries, which are jobs.
I was gonna say,
but,
yes,
I'm
you do.
interacting with people, right?
Yeah.
And so I want to make sure people feel heard because there are misunderstandings. For sure, we're all human and interacting together. And so I want to make sure that I'm thinking all these things. I'm sharing all my thoughts that happen. Okay, they said this. So maybe they're thinking, maybe they're not feeling so appreciated. So I should say something to show my appreciation. And it'll take me such a long time to get this out. So I'll do like my rough draft email about it and make sure that they're feeling appreciated and valued because I do appreciate and value them. And so just in case that this tone that we've been hearing lately has to do with that. And so then let's get what I need out and then where I'm coming from in that I'm not like trying to control or overstep, but that I'm trying to understand, oh yeah, like this whole thing happens in my head for when I craft out and send out an email.
And then you do that and then the person responds back with great.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
Or like when I spend all that time with a text message and I get a thumbs up back.
Get me started on a thumbs up.
I know that really bothers. I think the thumbs up emoji bothers you as much as when iPhone. I love all my iPhone friends. I love you all, but I really don't like the communication style of liking or loving or emphasizing a text. If anybody wants to explain to me what emphasizing a text means, please do. I've yet to find someone who's given me something that's like, oh yes, this is what it means. Anytime I ask, people are like, well, I think it means, I'm like,
because on their end, it's an emoji. And that's what I'm trying to figure out is which emoji is it?
It's exclamation points.
Oh.
But what does that mean?
Oh, it means yes.
Okay, then what does thumbs up mean?
I don't use that. To me, it's disrespectful, so I can't answer what they're thinking.
But like, love, emphasize, all that. I'm like, I don't, just say I would rather get a great back than so-and-so liked. But that's because I have an Android, and it comes off very cumbersome from on an Android side.
So that's a little different.
But yeah, you overthink, you overplan, you do the thing, and then it's, thanks. What?
Yeah. Oh my gosh. It's so frustrating sometimes. Really, that's what it was. Does that mean you're still like feeling what you were feeling and I'm going to get the same tone next time? Or is it just great? Okay. And then we move on.
And then here you are overthinking the response that you got back from the overthought email in the first place.
Yeah. And I'm just like, all right, no more paragraphs for you. That was a gift, all right?
I wonder if the person on the other side of it, maybe they're a bullet point sort of person and they don't want all the details and all the...
Maybe. I like visually on an email bullet points. It breaks it up. I've been doing that a lot more lately now that I have to send these long emails about things. And yeah, make sure like visually, like how do we make this less overwhelming visually? Okay, let's do that. Sometimes they're bullet points, different little paragraphs. And we're like, we got this. Send.
But still a lot of overthinking about the bullet points in this.
Absolutely. And there's I don't know if there's pros and cons is the word I'm using, but there's healthy and then there's unhealthy on the spectrum of this, right? I've definitely had moments, I'm better about it today about things, but for sure there are times in my life before where it's crippling. It affects things like I'm that far with their responses, analyzing that tone. I don't spend a lot of time on that nowadays, but it's definitely compared to back then. So there are times when some of this stuff is just helpful and considerate and mindful of who you're communicating with because they're important to you and you want to communicate well and you don't want to send a message that is inaccurate to how you're feeling. Yeah. But then there's where it's like completely consuming all of you and then you're still thinking about it even after you've sent it and you're still processing and then they send it and it's just something that you continue to replay. That is unhealthy, you guys. In case you weren't sure.
And that's part of the reason why we're doing this episode right after the last one about preparing. And it might sound like we're talking about similar things because we are, but this feels more to me like how we can put some Jesus salt on it or we can slap a spiritual sticker on why I overthink. It's not just the preparing. It's not just taking forever to craft an email. It can be our thought, but often it's helped along by negative situations that have happened in our life or different things that have played out. And so then we feel like we are being very connected to God when we do this. And I just want to make sure I'm not going to offend, but what's really happening is we're still relying on ourselves and we are still taking responsibility for the other person's emotions when that's not something that we can do. So this idea of I'm trying to be a good communicator and I'm trying to use the gifts that God had, like we can slap spiritual stickers on this stuff. And that's still my wounding. That's still me trying to put out a fire that may or may not. So we've got to really zoom out and look at the bigger picture and why are we doing this?
What's an indicator for how we can tell when we've taken it too far?
For me, something that I'm aware of is when I am rehearsing the conversation over and over in my mind of all the different ways that it could possibly go. And I will be well into this fake conversation in my head before I catch it. And other times I catch it right now. And then why am I feeling like I'm responsible? Why do I feel like I have to rehearse this? What do you want to show me instead? But there are definitely times where I'm like, okay, so if I say it this way, then I think that's going to be well received and I won't hurt their feelings. But if they see it this way, then maybe I could do, and it's just like I've written a whole play. We have musical numbers and everything.
It's like that interactive book, right? Pick your next destination. Okay,
Yes.
now let me tell you how it unfolds there.
Yes. Use your own adventure, but it feels awful and it's not a fun adventure and I don't want to go back there again. Yeah. You have anything that pops up for you as I'm doing that, like an indicator for you?
So I've said before, when I get language for things, it's very helpful for me. So the whole concept of wanting to take responsibility for someone else's reactions or wanting control of the outcome. If those phrases were never formulated to me, I might not have really figured that out. So I think indicators for me is when I start noticing if I'm trying to do that. Am I trying to prevent emotions so drastically? If however they answer, if they choose to respond in all these 5 different ways that I've come up with, if that still worries me about which one they pick, then we need to come back. We've gone too far and let's take a break and let's find out what's really going on here. Because even some of the things that we'll talk about or overthink to put in, like my emails, for example, I want to make sure that they're not feeling this kind of way. Okay, it's fine to care about them and making sure that we're communicating well, sure, but is it just that? Are we sure that it is just that? Or are we in this whole mode where it's, oh no, because then if they misunderstand me, then they're going to think this of me. And then all of it's coming right back over here. Yep. Like for what they think of me. And now that's what's really driving this, because I don't want to be perceived that extreme. And so, yeah, I think those are at least my parameters that I've been able to easily identify if it's okay, no, now we've gone too far.
So fascinating, Denise. I have no experience with any of what you just shared. It must be really tough for you.
Yeah. Yes, it is, Brooke. Thanks for asking.
Okay, but there are healthy pieces to this, like what you were saying, trying to distinguish between them. And there are times if I'm in a not overthinking state of mind, I will take time to think, okay, what really, if I have to distill this down, what is the thing that I'm trying to communicate in a text message, in an email, whatever. And so in that sense, it is possible to have healthy levels of preparation, which we talked a little bit about last time. And so thinking through what really matters to me, and since words matter, how can I communicate this thing that matters to me in a way that that's what I'm conveying, is that this is important to me, and I'm hoping that you will understand that through my written communication. There's nothing wrong with that. But and then I have to figure out, but then if they think this, then I have to do, and I'll say it this way because I know there was this one other time that when I said something and when I start spiraling it's just me going on and on. I'm like, wait a minute, who are you talking to? Where's this conversation coming?
And that other person is just staring off in space in their life at that point with not a single thought in their brain at that moment. And we're here like so stressed about it.
Yeah, but I don't think there's anything wrong with wanting to communicate clearly, wanting to make sure that your point gets across, that what is important or valuable to you is you want that to be understood. That's all great. But when we're forever spiral, then it's, we've gone a little too far.
I think maybe even who we have those conversations with is evaluating that relationship. I think sometimes there are moments that we are doing this is where I'm coming from, and these are my feelings on it, and this is why this is important to me. And you got this whole essay of you opened up your heart about something, and then that person comes back with the one word great, and it becomes like a one-sided thing. And so then it's evaluating what it is that you are wanting from that relationship, because if it being one-sided on a relationship, nobody wants that anyway. That's just not a healthy one to be in, you guys.
Doesn't feel good.
But yeah, so I just other ways that it's happened and come up, and probably not worth investing your time because it's so much mental energy.
Yes.
By the time you're done, your body is you're physically exhausted. It's not like you were doing manual labor, but your body
is responding that way. Yeah.
And then you're like, I just need to sit down and watch a movie or something because you're just exhausted because you just stressed yourself. You hurt your own feelings, stressing yourself out. And
Well, I've
Yeah,
noticed
we
too
did
that,
it again.
yeah. Sometimes people, when we want to put Jesus salt or slap a spiritual sticker on it, they use the word discernment when they're just anxious about the possible outcome. I'm like, that's not what discernment is.
Yeah, that's not how I understood discernment, so that's new to me.
And I think I said in the last episode about how the one friend of mine would say, I'm just being vigilant. And no, you're fearful and you're trying to prepare. So we can put these overly, and there is nothing wrong with the word discernment. That is a real word. That is a real concept. I'm not saying we throw that out of our vocabulary, but it's
a real word.
But it's when we use it in a way that's not intended, then we've got our problems. Because, anxiety is not, I'm really high in discernment. No, you're overthinking to the point of now you're creating issues that don't actually exist.
Yeah. My understanding of discernment was that, like, that emotion that comes with that is peace. That's how I've always interpreted it. Okay, so we know what to do and we're at peace about it. Not suddenly we're anxious about 75 things now. That feels like two very conflicting.
Right. Yeah, because
experiences
it's
of that.
not like the peace doesn't come because we have thought through all of the possible scenarios and we have figured out solutions for all of them. It's God has given us the green light to do or say or whatever, and we know because we're connected to him and we know we've received this from him that we can move in whatever direction he's telling us because it's been from him, and that's what makes it feel peaceful. It's not because I have done all the things to make sure it's peaceful.
To make sure it's peaceful.
That's not the same thing.
We'll have peace.
Yeah.
Overthinking making decisions.
I'm just gonna. You can talk about that. I don't know what that's like at all.
Oh man, I will when I have to make a big decision. Like,
Do tell, Denise.
and you'll recall a recent phone conversation.
What? I don't think I understand what you're talking about. What was this phone conversation that you had with me?
And John. And I'm like, so I get this phone call with this person that, I work with, and they've asked something of me, and it was not something I saw coming, and it's because of some changes that came up on their end, and it's a spur of the moment thing, but it's a pretty big ask. And so I'm like, okay, first thing, I want to talk to God about this and pray about it. And so I'm like, all right, cool. But before I forget, let me go ahead and text Brooke, because otherwise I'm going to forget to tell her to pray for me while I make this decision. And so then I call and we end up having this conversation about what's on my mind about it. And so I'm like, oh man, you guys are getting a live look on just how all the different things, like mentally, it feels like I was on this field and it's a nice green pasture and I'm here like digging a little hole to find something and then bring it out. But what about this? and it was something that like I had to dig to find it. Like it wasn't like on the field. I had to like work to get it. And so sharing these things, and make sure you have good friends like this, you guys. Help you keep you grounded. It's like, why? It's like, where did that even come from, Denise? And I'm like, I don't know, because of this. And so then I'm thinking this, and then it's like, when did you start running that company? And I was like, I didn't. But
Maybe they should hire you. She was solving all the problems. Problems that don't exist, problems that probably never will exist, but she has got solutions.
Yeah, because I was sitting here like, okay, well, I have to make this one decision. Also, from this one decision that I need to make, I've found other things that are like open tasks now, right? And I'm like, but what about that? But what about that? But what about that? Because doesn't that affect this? And it's like, no, Denise, this is the one you have to answer. Yeah, but there's like this and this. So there was like so much overthinking on that too. And so then I'm like, all right, why am I thinking about all these things? And so I got to figure that out. This conversation with God's going to be hilarious because it's going to be so all over the place. All that to say, we can overthink on making decisions too, you guys.
One of my favorite part of that conversation with you is I was like, do you want to just pray right now on the phone? And she said, no, because I've got to think through some things first and then I'll talk to God about it. And I was like, or Instead of you thinking through everything, you could just invite God in from the beginning. You don't have to get everything organized to present it well to God.
In my mind, I was like, if we present it well, then we can go ahead and start getting to the root of what the important thing is. And we're not spending time on these things that actually don't matter now, because what I need is the only thing that does matter.
Because you are way more aware of that than God is. And so it's a good thing you've come prepared.
Yeah. He didn't know anything about this decision that was going to be presented to me.
Yeah, and we're joking, but that's what's in there for all of us. There are varying levels of that for all of us.
Yeah.
And that's, if you just really stop and think about it, it is laughable, but then it's, oh no, that's real. Mm-hmm. And that's, to a certain extent, that's what I believe.
Yeah.
And so I have to come with my organized report.
Yeah.
So that God can help me.
Yeah. Like, what is a spiritual PowerPoint presentation look like?
Your spiritual slide deck.
Yeah,
you're aging yourself by calling it a PowerPoint.
That slide deck. Can you edit that?
No, because I call them PowerPoints as well, but now they're slide decks. Yeah. Did you know that there are PowerPoint parties?
Yes.
I don't understand this.
I think it's the new kids that are like, let's do old people things. And like, they used to use PowerPoints. Wouldn't it be fun if we did a PowerPoint party? I'm pretty sure it's exactly how that conversation happened.
I need someone who's actually been to one, organized one.
I think I want to organize one. I completely forgot about those.
No, never mind, everyone.
Look, I'll invite you.
I'm busy. What day is that? I'm busy.
I got the day that is. I'm busy.
Yeah, I got lots of plans.
You just bring your own topic and you share on it.
Now I've heard like people will have themes, and you have to for example, somebody was talking about how they went to a conspiracy theory PowerPoint party.
Oh, okay.
And so everybody had to bring their
conspiracy theory.
Yeah. And then from what I understand, the way this has been explained to me, and so anyone who's listening, if you've been to one, like them, whatever, correct me if I'm wrong, this is the only explanation I've heard, is that then everybody comes with their point and
their PPT.
Sure. And they present it, and then you all judge who has the best one. And I'm like, that's called school. And that's what we did. School. That's what we did. I would assign students something, and they would prepare their information, and they would submit it to me, and then I would give them a grade. That's school. That's not a party.
Maybe they just really like school.
I really like school too, but I don't want to. I'm busy. Whenever your PowerPoint party is, Denise, I'm so sorry. I hope it's a blast. I got lots of things to do that day.
Yeah, until you find out it's like a llama PowerPoint, and everybody's bringing their llama and talking about a llama. It can be whatever you want it to be.
Why can't we just pull up a picture of a llama on our phone as we're sitting around hanging out? Why does it have to be a PowerPoint party?
Because maybe they have other information they want to add to it.
Oh gosh. All right. Great. I still think I'm busy though. I'll look, but I think I'm busy.
But I'll look.
I will.
To see that I'm busy.
Yeah. Sure enough. I was right. Chock full of things to do that day.
So then my other thing is, and I've said this before about other people, typically if there's something going on or some conversation needs to happen, is I want to talk with them first before I talk through too much with someone else. And so I do the same with God. So here I am after this phone call, right? and that's one reason I didn't want to like just pray on the spot yet. And so I wanted to come all messy then with him about stuff and figure out what's happening here. I'm trying to solve all these different problems that have nothing to do with this. And then at the same time, like the hesitation presented itself. So that must mean something. So what does that mean? Because a similar decision was presented to me weeks prior and there was no hesitation. I was super excited, prayed about it, feel like it's great, cool, confirmed it. But this one, there was hesitation. So now I'm having these conversations with God. I'm like, what's really happening here? So we're digging through the mess and I'm hearing a lot of, no, Denise, take it off, take that off. Okay. Are we sure? Yeah. Okay. So that's not it. Okay. So get down to it's me, right? It comes down to me. And am I feeling like I am a person qualified to start doing these kinds of things? Because it would be the first one that kicks off for the year. I'm asked to lead a workshop, you guys, for a conference, a national conference, which I've never done before. And then the one that I've already agreed to later that was so easy to accept is for a global conference. How much sense does that make? Now that it's only national, I don't know. 2 different organizations, you guys. So anyway, and yeah, so I'm thinking about it and all these other things that maybe are worth thinking about and praying about, but really just distractions for what I'm involved in and need to make a decision on. And so, yeah, it came down to a lot of that. So I think just stopping and going to God about it to find out like what really is, where is this coming from? Is this like a me thing? And is that really what's happening here? Yeah. I don't know. What do you got about that?
I think this is one of those times where it's really, we want a formula for every time something comes up because it felt really easy for the one decision. We would love that every time. We want it to be real simple, real clear, yes or no, done. And God very rarely does the same thing twice in those kinds of situations because for him, the decision is important, but what's more important is what you're believing about yourself. And if you notice, that really came down to your identity and the things that you believe are true that might not be true. And that's what he's interested in. And so he will do whatever he has to do to get us in that frame of mind with him. And so it's not about the conference. It's about why do you think you're not equipped or not adequate or not worthy so it's really hard because we get very focused on this is what I want to do, so I need a yes or no, God. And he's, oh, sweet child, no, let me talk to you about something else that's actually way more important, because if you know who you are, then you can step into any room and talk to anyone about anything and be totally fine. And that's not arrogance, that's not overconfident, that's just I know who I am, and so this is what I bring to the table. And I think that again, there's a healthy preparation, there's a healthy let me think through, should I make this decision or not, invite God into that conversation, but then we can, the tiniest little bit off track, and we're all of a sudden trying to protect ourselves from whatever it is that we think we need to protect ourselves from. And if you ask anyone who's had to make a big decision, you'll find some version of that. We all do it. And God's going to get our attention every time. And it seems like, why aren't you helping me make this decision? Well, it's because, yes, that's important, but it's not as important as what you believe about yourself. But we just want yes or no, God.
I know, right? Are we doing this or not? It's like, Denise, go back to this line on your paper. And? That's how it was, you guys. That's how it was. Our overthinking says a lot about us.
Yeah.
And where we're at.
Yeah. It reveals a whole lot about what we believe. And we don't even realize it until, most of the time, until somebody else reflects it back to us, whether it's a person or God. Then it's, oh, yeah, this is what I'm thinking or believing about myself when that's not at all true. And now that's clear. Now the decision feels not quite so life or death.
No matter what comes from it. The whole accepting that outcome, regardless of what it is a fun conversation with God. I remember I had the one recently, and I'm just like, okay, but what if they get really hurt and sad about what I said? And then, and I feel like all I was hearing was like, Denise, just no, this is what we're doing, and this is it. That's all you got to think about. Okay, but what? It's like, Denise, just that. And I'm like, okay, so it doesn't matter. And then I was like, remember how you were telling people in this other situation how the same Holy Spirit that is guiding you is the same Holy Spirit that's guiding the other person. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, yeah, so same thing,
right?
Holy Spirit is going to be with them regardless of how they take it. And I'm like, oh, okay.
Isn't it fun when he
wake up that Holy Spirit? Do I need to wake them up? Or
again, taking responsibility. Great. It's so funny when he uses your own words back on you. And you're like, oh, yeah, I thought that was really brilliant advice when I gave it to someone else. Mm-hmm. You mean I'm supposed to, oh, okay. Yeah, I have, like, when I catch myself practicing a conversation or rehearsing or whatever, as soon as I catch it, I stop it and then I just go do the thing. Hit send on the email or hit send. You just got
to do it.
Yes.
And let it go and just, oof.
Yeah. And at first that feels like, oh my gosh, what did I just do? And then you realize it's fine. And if there is misunderstanding, you follow up, but you have to do it. You have to experience it to realize the world is still spinning. We're all still alive. Everything's okay. I can hit send on a text without proofreading it 900 times. But yeah, you got to do it. And then you go, but then it's fine.
Yeah.
And if it's not fine, that's okay too. And then you regroup and go from there.
Because maybe that's part of it.
Yes.
Maybe the weird, awkward, difficult moments, that conversation was part of the plan all along.
But we don't like that, Denise.
No. Only on Tuesdays.
Only on Prodigal Peas episodes can we be awkward and weird. Yeah, there are times where I'll catch myself thinking, okay, I'm not going to send this email or I'm not going to do this until John can read it first. I'm like, stop it. Send. And it sounds kind of ridiculous that it takes that much. No, it's going to be okay. Everything's going to be fine. No, you're fine. It's a text message. And there have been misunderstandings and awkward moments, and I'm still here to tell the tale. I've survived.
Yeah.
It's okay.
Yeah. There was this moment where I was sending an email recently, and it was a schedule for the agenda that we were going to do for a meeting. And I was just like, very quick bullet points, or 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and that was it. And then a few words to describe what it was. And I'm like, okay, great, boom, send it. And then my co-lead, I love him, he follows up with, and just like to add a little bit more, he writes about how much time each one was planning on taking.
Great.
Smart. Everybody needs that.
Yeah.
When they're receiving an agenda. And I hadn't sent it at first. I was like, oh my gosh, I didn't include that. And I'm like getting on myself about it. And then I was like, no, we're not doing that anymore. So I was like, I texted my co-lead and I was like, thank you so much for backing me up. And he was like, yeah, no problem. Don't, like, all good. We got a good schedule out. And I'm like, okay, cool. And I could accept it. And I wasn't just
That's
like,
awesome.
oh my God,
Yeah.
I'm not capable of this because I can't even put time stamps on these things or whatever. And it was a good moment for me.
That's a very good moment. Plus, it's just so nice when that's why we partner with other people for things. That's such a great example of that. Look at you.
I know. Thanks.
Gold star.
Yay.
On your heart.
On my heart. I hope there's unlimited room for gold stars in there.
There is.
Okay. So there's the whole God didn't ask us to pre-live every single expectation, right?
Wait, he didn't? I'm not supposed to do that. I'm kidding.
And we laugh because we still do. We live these things in our heads. And so then there's the whole, like, we can prepare our heart without pre-writing the future. And I know I've said this in another episode, and I'm going to keep saying it because it was just such sound advice for me. And I think about it often, where it was another situation where I'm overthinking and I'm coming up with all these different outcomes and these different things to prepare for. And what if they do this again and I get hurt or whatever? And then the answer was, but you have God. And so we're not on these outcomes because it's not our responsibility, people's feelings and outcomes. To a certain degree, you guys, it's not a right passage to go
stomp
be
all over
hurtful.
people.
Yeah. But that we have God with us through whatever emotions that we're navigating through, whatever conversations that it ends up getting us to. In my case, for the recent thing was like my identity, right? And so it's experiencing that with God, no matter what the outcome is the point of this, and not us just going ahead and like trying to be 50 steps ahead, always about things. Yeah. Yep. That's what I was going to say.
You did say it.
Yay.
Hey, if there's any situations where you've done some overthinking or over preparing or rehearsed a conversation, I mean, you don't have to script it out for us or anything, but if you'd like to share, that would be great. We'd love to hear your examples of how you're in this pod with us. This is not necessarily the pod we want to be in, the overthinking pod, but once we share those things, then we can get out of that pod and come hang out in the more fun pod.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's go in the fun pod. So remember, guys, peas relax.
Oh, no. I'm so sorry, everyone.
She's not.
Yeah, you got any more in there?
Let's see. Ooh, we don't need a backup pod.
See, we just said that. Okay.
Give peas a chance to unfold.
Oh. I do. Okay, I like the idea when it's actually peace because we want peace right now, but maybe God's working
Right.
something out in this, what we feel like could be awkward situation.
The journey, not the destination.
Yes.
Just true and valuable, but hard for us. Let's see, what's another one? Oh, we want to be prepared peas, not paranoid peas. What does a paranoid pea look like?
I don't know.
Can somebody draw that for us? Do any of our listeners draw? Can you guys draw us a paranoid pea?
But maybe you can invite that pea to your, if you're going to do a PowerPoint party and it's a conspiracy theory party, I think the paranoid pea would be, I think that pea would end up winning.
I think so. I have to remember to do that now. I want to have a PowerPoint party. I'm going to let you know how it goes.
Yeah, please
I'm
do.
gonna give you
Because, I'm busy.
I'm going to do a Facebook Live and I'll send you the link.
A Facebook Live. Please do. Okay, anyway, thank you all for joining us once again. We hope you had a fun time like we did with our overthinking, but not anymore. We're not going to overthink anymore.
No mas.
Thanks for tuning in. We'll see you next time.
Okay, bye.
Thanks for tuning in to another episode of Prodigal Peas in a Pod.
For more content, please be sure to like, follow, and share.
And you can email us at prodigalpeas@gmail.com.
For more information on Misfit of Creation, you can like and follow me on just about all social medias, to include TikTok. I also have a Facebook community group that you can join. I have an Etsy shop that has a lot of downloadable tools to help strengthen your walk with Christ. There is a Patreon account if you are looking to be a monthly supporter. And I also do an online prayer call once a month. So be sure to follow that to be updated on when the next date is.
You can find more information on my mental and emotional health coaching practice at blueprintheartandmind.com, where you can also access my blog and schedule a session with me. And you can find me on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. So, Denise, what's next?
Hey, DJ, spin that track.
I get it now, I need to be myself because a copycat can only do so well. In love with everything that makes me who I am. Don't need a backup plan, I hope they understand that I'm doing better today. I got me a mission, I got some fruition, you down to stay out the way. Can't seek validation from people who hating, I got my mentality straight. Shout out to God, I've been keeping the first, he been working and paving the way. And now I can guarantee you that's the way to live. Way to live. Promise that's the way to live. Way to live. Promise that's the way to live.
We're getting really off topic because what does chock full mean? Is this like a basket full of chalk? Is this? I can't visualize that expression.
Okay,
like a wicker basket.
Oh my gosh, I'm definitely editing that out because that's too far off topic.